Yeah, and sticking with college basketball season, Rich, you have had the chance to work with so many phenomenal analysts, including like names Dick Vitale and Charles Barkley. So, what are some of the challenges of having to juggle working with so many analysts throughout the season, knowing that you have to build chemistry with them each and every game?
It's funny you say that, Colton, that I'm not being rude by looking at my phone. I'm seeing if I could quickly call this up so I could share it with you. Here it is. I keep a running tab of how many analysts I've worked with, and you could see it goes all the way up and down. I am well over 50 different analysts who I've called basketball games with. And you're right, that is a really important aspect of the job is building that chemistry. What I always advise up and coming play-by-play announcers, and even this transfers over to being a host or an anchor because you're usually working with someone else. Even Scott Van Pelt, who is the solo anchor of SVP SportsCenter, works with Stanford Steve off to the side. They communicate during the show. So what I'm about to say is not just mutually exclusive for play-by-play. It crosses all the disciplines of sportscasting. I think as the host or anchor or play-by-play announcer, your job is being a glorified traffic cop. And if you are making your analyst or your co-host look good, look smart, look educational, look entertaining, that reflects well on you. As a matter of fact, that's not just my opinion. I've picked the brains of many national sports network executive. And the two things they tell me they look for on demo reels for up and coming sportscasters, the two things more than anything else. One, do you know to let it breathe? Do you understand that less is actually more? The fewer words you speak, the more valuable those words become. That's the first thing they look for. The second thing they look for, right below that, is how do you interact with your analyst? Because, in my humble opinion, what we're doing on a daily or nightly basis as sportscasters is not engaging in a three-way conversation. It's not me and Colton calling a game, and we're including the audience as well. It's not a triangle. What we want to create is an opportunity for the audience to eavesdrop on our conversation. Because more than anything, and I know I already mentioned this, more than anything, what the audience wants and craves is access. And we have that. We have the best seat in the house. We get to talk to the athletes and the coaches and the teams and the executives before and after the game. The audience doesn't. They wish they did. They want access. We are that gatekeeper for that access. So I always think of it as an eavesdropping opportunity. So when I come on camera to start a game, I am locked in on my analyst because I want the audience to be locked in on that analyst. I am not introducing, Fran Fraschilla or Dick Vitale or Charles Barkley, and then right after he starts talking, I look at the camera like this because that shows that I'm essentially being disrespectful and disregarding what that person next to me is saying. He or she is the star. We're not the stars. They're the experts. That's who the audience wants to hear from. We're just the conduit to get from that point to delivering it to the audience. So building that chemistry is super important and valuable. And I recommend doing it as early as possible. If you find out you're working with someone a week before, a month before, or a night before, you need to go out of your way to, at very least, have a phone conversation with that person. Pick their brain. And you know what? It serves two purposes. It helps establish yourself as a collaborative partner, which they'll appreciate. And to be honest with you, Colton, it feeds their ego. They say, wow, this guy or this gal is really interested in what I have to say. And be as intentional as you can be. Let them know that the reason you're doing this is not to be a nice guy. It's, I want to make you look good. What are the keys to the game that you're going to want to talk about so I could ask you about those things? What are some stories that you would want to tell that I could tee you up on so you could tell those stories? Be intentional about those communications before you get into your broadcasting environment. It's going to help you look good because you are helping them look good.